Pastor, thanks so much for seeing me today. I don't know where else to turn. I've made a big mess of things and I don't know what to do.
Jane, thank you so much for coming in to see me today. I'm sure we can figure out a plan. What seems to be the problem?
Well, here, look at these bills. There's so many. I'm afraid I'm going to lose everything. How will I be able to take care of my kids?
Oh, Jane, I hope I can help you. How far behind are you?
Well, I have the collection agency calling me every day on this hospital bill. I'm not sure how I'm going to make my car payment. My credit cards are through the roof, and I have a student loan to pay every month. Do you remember the accident I had last summer? That's when it all started to fall apart. I was hurt in the crash, I ended up in the hospital, my hours had been cut way back at work, and I no longer had health insurance. So I've got this huge hospital bill to pay on top of everything else.
Well, Jane, you're not the first person in the congregation to have these kinds of financial difficulties. And as it happens, I know a little something about finance. You know, before I got the call to the ministry, I worked at a bank downtown. People would come to me all the time looking for advice about money. I've seen people in worse shape than you get out of debt. So, let's see what we've got here.
Well, that's why I came to you, Pastor. Alice told me you helped her when she was overwhelmed last year, and I thought that you might help me too.
Yes, Alice was very upset, but she focused on what she had to do, made a plan, and stuck to it. It was hard work, but she got through it all right. You have taken a very important first step because you realize there's a problem and you're looking for solutions. Many people ignore their debt, thinking somehow it will just go away. Unfortunately, it doesn't, and with interest and late fees, it gets worse and worse each month until it seems overwhelming. And if it goes on for too long, your creditors can go to court to seek a judgment against you to get payment. Your bill can get turned over to a debt collector. Your car or your house can be repossessed. The creditors can also have a court order to have your wages garnished. So a portion of your pay goes directly to the creditors.
I had no idea. What am I going to do? How do I even begin? I feel completely defeated.
I understand. It seems scary. But like any problem, let's just take it one step at a time. The first thing you need to do is to make a list of all your creditors. Put down how much you owe, and then put down your minimum monthly payment and the interest rate you're paying. Then you need to add up those minimum monthly payments to see if you can cover those with your current income. Remember that if all you can afford to make is your minimum monthly payment, you will likely be making that payment for years and years. In order to reduce your debt, you need to make more than your monthly minimum. And if it looks like you're going to have trouble meeting your monthly payments, you should call your creditors and explain your situation. Sometimes they can set up a repayment schedule that works better for you. And if you can't make a payment one month, call your creditors and be upfront with them with your financial problems. Maybe they can reduce the amount you need to pay, or at least stop the accumulation of interest charges and other fees.
Well, I've been able to make the minimum monthly payment each month, but sometimes I send it out a little late and the fees come.
Well, it's important to make your minimum payment to each loan on time every month. So you're on the right track there. But if your payment is late, they may increase your interest rate as well as hit you with fees, and then it will be even harder to eliminate your debt. I see you have a car loan here. That's a secured loan. You really want to be sure not to miss any of those payments.
What's a secured loan?
Secured loans are loans in which you have offered collateral. For example, your car loan is secured by the car itself. So if you miss payments, they can come and repossess your car. How are you managing so far? Are you able to cover these debts and also pay any other expenses like rent and food?
Well, I think I'll be able to. It's going to be a little tight, but I can make some small adjustments to my spending. I finally got a new job at the school office. It was rough after I lost my job. That's when things got far behind. I kept chipping away at my savings until I had none left.
Congratulations on your new job. That should make things easier to get back on track for you. This could be a good time for you to call the creditors and try to set up some repayment options. With your new job in hand, they may be willing to negotiate.
I'm scared to call. What if they yell at me?
It's their job to work with you. And if you take the first step, it's a sign of good faith and an acknowledgement that you are not trying to dodge your debts, but you are trying to take responsibility for them. As you start to pay these bills off, try to put any extra that you can toward the bill with the highest interest rate. That's the one costing you the most money.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. That credit card bill is a killer. When I was out of work, I even charged some groceries on my card. And I know charging your daily expenses on a credit card carrying an 18% interest rate isn't the best plan.
Sometimes you don't have any choice, but you are right. Credit cards can present an awful temptation. Why don't you take your credit card out of your pocketbook and leave it at home until you get past this? That way, you won't be tempted to use it without really thinking about what it's going to cost you.
That's a good idea. I'm sorry I ever got the darn thing. The bill collectors from the credit card company won't leave me alone.
Those guys can be difficult.
Yeah, they're relentless. First came the threatening letters, then the calls all the time. It's horrible.
Did you know that there's a federal law regulating debt collection that protects your rights? And if you're dealing with a collection agency, you can stop their calls and letters by writing them a letter and asking them to stop contacting you. Send the letter by certified mail, that way you know that the letter has been delivered. You will still owe the debt, but you will get the collection agency off your back.
I sure wish I had known that a couple months ago. Do you know anything about those debt counseling places? Is debt consolidation a good idea? I keep seeing ads for them on the internet, and I wonder if I should call.
Well, be careful. There are some nonprofit counseling agencies out there that can help you set up some repayment schedules with your creditors and a budget to help you better manage your finances. But honestly, most of what they do, you can do for yourself. But if you just aren't comfortable doing it yourself, you should give them a call. If you want to make one monthly payment to them and let them distribute that money to your creditors, they will do that for you under a debt consolidation plan. Be really careful of the companies that you find on the radio or the internet. Not all of them are reputable. Some of them charge high fees to get your financial house in order.
Do you really think if I called my creditors, they might help me out?
There's only one way to find out. If you would like to call from here, I would be happy to stand by in case you have any questions.
You mean call right now?
Why not? You know, Jane, it's not going to go away on its own. Why not start right now to change your future?
You're right. Like the sign on the wall says, the longest journey begins one step at a time. I guess I need to start this journey today.